So the JavaScript version of the client object model, it's definitely bigger than the managed code versions. A typical SharePoint page uses a lot of JavaScript contained in many different files, and there's a lot of JavaScript files in the template layouts folder. It's well over 100 in the 15 Hive template layouts for SharePoint Enterprise. The main one is sp.js, and then you have the core library, ribbon. SharePoint has its own dialog framework. Obviously, sp.ribbon is for manipulating the ribbon that you see in SharePoint. Whenever you use any of these files in a page, you're going to want to load them with a script link web control if you're inside of a page in SharePoint. So the reason why there's so many files is that the JavaScript object model contains functionality to facilitate not just data access but also UI development. So the analog to the managed code libraries is sp.js. So that has all the functionalities for getting data in and out of SharePoint. And the thing to remember, another difference is the whenever you're getting value of a property, your getters are going to use get underscore and then whatever the property name is. And then same thing for when you're going to do a set, it's set underscore whatever the property name is. And then obviously there's another difference is that Java has no support for lambda expressions. So because of that, the load method will accept string values so you can limit the amount of results you get back from your calls to SharePoint. So in this demo, we're going to look at adding an item to a list using the JavaScript client-side object model. I've already opened up SharePoint Designer and I'm going to be creating a page in the site pages library. So let me connect to our site. And I'll choose site pages. And I'm going to create a new web part page. And I'll just do a full page vertical. And I'll just call it JavaScript demo. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to edit this file in advanced mode. So one thing about SharePoint Designer, it doesn't have very good support for IntelliSense. So I have some snippets in a text file here. So first thing I'm going to do is include this script link to load in the sp.js file. And I'm going to put it right inside a placeholder additional page head. So here I'll put it, let's see. Put it right here. So the script or the placeholder or additional page head, that's the area in a SharePoint page where you want to put your any type of CSS links or JavaScript links. So we'll put that there, save that. what's going to do is load this sp.js on demand. So there's no, and localizable is false, so there's no culture specific versions of the file. And the file is located in the template layouts within the SharePoint root. Okay, next I'm going to copy this code block here. So right after placeholder main, let's go find that. Okay. So right after this table, put our script block in. So what you'll see here is an anchor element that's going to call the button click function. And so the anchor is going to say click me. It's wired up to the button click function. Button click is going to get the current context using the client-side object model. It's going to get the announcements list. So that's what this line is right here. We get the web, then we get the lists, then by title announcements. And then we're going to add an item to the announcements list. So we're going to call add item, which looks very familiar to the server-side version of the list item collections add item method. And in this case, we pass in a sp list item creation information object. Now we have our list item here that's going to get returned, and we're going to set the title. Then we have to call update on it, just like server-side code. Then we have to load the list item, and then execute the query. But this is a little bit different because the execute query is an async. So we have to create a delegate, basically a function pointer. So we're going to say for success, we want this function succeeded to be called, so that will get called. And then if there's an error, then we're going to call the failed function, which is right here. Both of these are just going to pop up an alert. So I'll go ahead and save that. Now let's navigate to our site and go to site contents, site pages. Let's open our page up and click on click me. And it looks like we got success, because if we go back to SharePoint Designer, yes, so that's success. So we should have added a new item to the announcements list that says hello from JavaScript. So let's check that. Let's go to the announcements list. And in fact, here it is. So that is just a nice, simple example of how to use the JavaScript object model to add a list item into a SharePoint list.